You know the consequences when you do these kinds of things, but the NHL needs that. Like we just talked about, you just mentioned Robin Lehner, and he says the things that other people are thinking. That's good for hockey. Stuff like this, the entertainment factor, is good for hockey. Let these guys express some personality because the game absolutely needs it.
Well, I mean, they only play each other twice, Anaheim and Columbus, in opposite conferences, but it was a fun way to end it. And we should mention that got to chat with him, Nathan Walker, as the first Australian-born player to be in the NHL with the Washington Capitals a few years ago. St. Louis Blues right now ravaged by COVID issues and injuries. He gets called up. Hey, when you're a good team, a guy gets called up from the American Hockey League. He is the first Australian, Nathan Walker is, born NHL player to record a hat trick in the NHL, 3 goals, and was a +4 in their 6-2 win over Detroit. Pretty good game, mate, right, for the Aussie?
Yeah, not bad. I've played with a few Australian guys in my time, and they don't get any credit, but there's some really good players that are there, just like there are in other small countries that we would never think that there would be talented hockey players. But what a call up for St. Louis. I mean, you call the guy up, you're probably not expecting a whole heck of a lot. Here, give him a few minutes here and there, and then he scores a hat trick. I mean, the Blues needed that too, because they've been on a bit of a dovetail here after their great start. And I think they were like 4-6-2 or 4-6-3 in their last 13 as of a few days ago. And that type of game from a guy like Walker really helps you out.
Well, like I said, it's been a fun 3 days, Matt. Have really appreciate it. You have a great weekend. Good luck with the gout. You taking those pills, the gout pills?
I've run the gamut here. The pills,
Okay.
I've taken like natural remedies. I'm doing everything over here. It's getting better, so hopefully just in time for the weekend.
Well, you're still looking great on radio. I can tell you that much. So anyway, thanks very much for everything.
Thanks, Gordo.
Thanks very much to Josh Santos as well. Yeah, some great games tonight. Looking forward to Winnipeg at Vancouver is one that'll be a beauty, and you can't beat the original 6 battle. Chicago coming into Toronto for their one visit, just like in Montreal last night for theirs as well. And like we said, Jeff Merrick back on Monday. Thanks very much, Elliot Friedman, Mark Spector, Ian McIntyre, Jesse Granger for joining us over the past couple hours. Gord Stellick in. You're listening to the Jeff Merrick Show on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Have a great weekend.
Hello and welcome to the Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Wayne Malou. As a reminder, we are now streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel Monday to Friday between 2 and 3 p.m., where you can watch live or you can watch the archived episodes. That's once again on Sportsnet's YouTube channel. To the viewers, hello and welcome. Alex as well. And as you see here, I am joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong. Alex, man, what's going on?
Happy Friday. You know, holidays are coming up. December. You like December? I like December. December is the month when everybody just doesn't want to work, which, fits my flow perfectly.
Yeah, no, I like December too. Yeah, it's the month of my birthday. You know, you get to see family. Lots of good movies come out in the stretch, and of course, the Raptors play like every other day, which is good because I don't have a lot of other interests in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. So
Lots of movies coming out? What are you talking about?
usually they come out around Christmas.
Spider-Man? Are you excited for the new Spider-Man movie?
Nah, I'm good, man. But I'm excited for the new Spider-Man game though, if it comes with one.
Oh, you a gamer?
No, I'm just telling you, man. The last Spider-Man for PS4 was just incredible, man.
Yeah. So once again, Will and I have attempted to small talk. Made it like 90 seconds. Not bad.
That was real tough, man.
Yeah.
What do we have on the rundown, Alex?
On the rundown, Masai tests positive.
Yeah.
So Masai MLSE released a statement yesterday. So on Sunday, Giants of Africa held their first in-person event since 2019. And in the statement, MLSE and Masai said that it was organized in compliance with all current public health guidances. Everybody attended showed proof of vaccination, had to wear masks when they were not eating or drinking. But unfortunately, even though Masai was fully vaccinated and received a booster shot, he has tested positive. So he's at home at the moment, self-isolating for the next 10 days, monitoring for symptoms, undergoing testing. So it gives a bit of context, I think, to why the Raptors canceled their practice yesterday out of just an abundance of caution. And Adam Silver and Mark Tatum have subsequently released a statement as well, saying that they've tested negative but are also self-isolating and monitoring because they were in town. Patrick Mutombo, the Raptors 905 head coach, was in health and safety protocols last night, so he didn't coach the Raptors 905 game. And Masai said, quote, "We don't want to live in fear of this virus, but COVID is a persistent enemy. Together, we'll defeat it." So, you know, I know we talked a little bit about this up top yesterday. I'm not sure we really have anything to add besides the fact that this is the reality that we're living in right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I'm not going to call out people really, but when you go down to the arena and you sort of see, you just compare like from the first preseason game we went to in terms of the observance of wearing masks and things like that. And it's definitely gone down, I would say. You know, when you go to the game, if you're going to be completely honest about it. And it's the same for the players. Like, you see them all the time, like taking pictures with fans with no masks on and stuff like that. And it's just like, you still got to be pretty careful. But for the most part, I just hope Masai's okay. And, you know, I hope him and his family's okay as well. And, this is a bummer, man. It really is a bummer. You know, I just feel like for this event, first off, like Giants of Africa is such a positive event. It's such a just a great celebration around, you know, Masai's charitable efforts and also celebrating the life and work of Nelson Mandela. And it's just like you don't want it to be blighted at all with anything. And this is not anyone's fault really, but I just hope Masai's okay. You know.
No, for sure. I mean, I was talking to you before the show. Like, I booked a trip to go to New York next week. You know, and it's all this stuff is just a reminder that even though things are moving towards normal, there's still just a lot of precautions and a lot of things that we don't know about this virus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've seen it in the NBA as a prime example, right? Like, so many players, many of them who are vaccinated, you've seen breakthrough cases across the league.
Yeah.
So, anyways, next on the rundown are just the words, "Will, please help with topics" today.
Yeah.
Because the Raptors didn't practice yesterday, didn't play yesterday. They're playing tonight against the New York Knicks. You know, reminiscent of the first ever NBA game when the Toronto Huskies played the Knicks.
Hey, Alex, what was it like covering that game when you were there live? You know, sure you were about 30
so
at that
somehow
time.
The TTC was still $3.25.
Oh wow, that's a whole mortgage
back
back
in
then.
the 1940s. Yeah, don't understand how that happened. But yeah, you know, and our pal Sam McKee, who produces some of the shows here on Fan 590, ran into us before the show. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to the game tonight. What do you expect?" And I was like, "I don't know, because I honestly don't know what to tell people, what to expect about the Raptors on any given game.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And I think the thing for me is I'm going to really miss OG tonight. OG is the guy that guards Randall, that matches him for strength. And, Randall, obviously, he's not having the greatest season. The Knicks are not having the greatest season, but he is still a threat. And I think having OG around was just very key to keeping Randall quiet. I think Randall, last time the Raptors played New York this season, which they won in MSG, Randall had like a really hot first quarter, made a bunch of jumpers, and then from that point on, maybe one shot in the last like 3 quarters, and a lot of that was OG's defense. On top of that, OG had 36 in the Garden, and that was just a breakout performance from him on national TV and everything like that. So I'm not saying the Raptors don't have enough to win, but at the same time, this is a game where you really will miss OG, most likely. So,
yeah, every Raptors game right now is a coin flip. They're drawing.
I would take a coin flip. That's
they're
a
drawing for the
team.
flush. They're drawing for the flush
Mm.
on the river.
Yeah,
and the Knicks have 2 pair. So we'll see what lands on the river tonight.
we'll see what lands on the river tomorrow. Because it seems like we're actually about to play poker for the first time in a while. But no, I mean, I wanted to check in here through the first third of the NBA season here and just look at 10 stats.
Oh no, stats. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give
put
you the
my
stats.
basketball hat on. Yeah.
Yeah, the work. It's actually a surprise. It's actually Cleaning the Glass Tuesdays. So, and you're sitting in the seat that, well, actually Blake usually sits over there, but still, you're now Blake Murphy, and I'm just going to toss 10 stats at you. Okay, number one, not a surprise here, but Fred VanVleet is 7th in the NBA in fourth quarter points. He has 132 points in the fourth quarter this season. It's actually just 1 behind Kevin Durant.
Very impressive.
Which is very impressive, which I think gives a little bit of context as to like, okay, I know people weren't happy with the last shot last night. I wasn't happy with the last shot. It wasn't the best play. It wasn't the best shot. It wasn't a very high percentage shot. And it got blocked. And the Raptors lost the game. Having said that, though, Fred in the fourth quarter this year has been ridiculously good. So, your thoughts? Do you feel this is something that surprised you or not surprised you?
No, it passes the Alex eye test.
Oh, wow.
On Media Row.
Where does this eye test compare to my watching them warm up test?
I think it's down there. Yeah,
Wow.
It's down there in terms of analysis. You shouldn't take. You should take with a grain of salt.
Mm.
But I mean, where would this team be without Fred? I know they're 11-14 right now. They would be number 1 on the Tankathon website right now.
They'd
without
be 1
Fred
and
VanVleet.
24 without it.
No, they would be Sam Presti's like dream right now without Fred, and it speaks to his importance. But I think every time we talk about Fred, it also speaks to the mediocre performances, from the rest of the roster.
Do you trust Fred as a closer? As the closer, let's say.
As the closer is hard. I was joking to you the other day, like, it's hard if your number 1 option is shorter than Will Lou. Like, there are going to be limitations. And we saw some of that on the final play of the game too, right? Like, if you are a 6'4", 6'5" point guard, you probably just rise up in the mid-range and get a really clean shot, instead of being bothered by the long arms of the OKC Thunder. But I do trust Fred developing as a playmaker, and again, set aside the final play against OKC, as a playmaker, as a decision maker. I'm not sure what more you can ask for from Fred based on his height and based on his play this season.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just wanted to highlight this because I think that coming into the season, that question is a huge one for me to sort of try to answer in terms of like, how do the Raptors run their late game offense? Who is they're running it for? What kind of plays are they running? That's still an ongoing question for me. But right now, it's pretty clear that Fred has been their go-to player in the fourth quarters. And he's had a lot of really strong outbursts. The Milwaukee game was largely Fred's doing, and that Memphis game where they closed it out. Gary was great in the fourth quarter too, but
Philadelphia Fred, when he did the Sam Cassell dance.
Yeah, Washington on the road when they beat him. Like, it's just like, it's all these games where he's been so important in the fourth quarters. And, I think that speaks to part of his leadership. So that's the first stat I'm going to give you here. I got 9 more for you. Okay, another one with Fred VanVleet. All right. Key stat number 2. Fred VanVleet is first in the NBA in distance traveled. So they have cameras in there, essentially, like if you're wearing a Fitbit and you're just running around. Yeah, Fred VanVleet is first in the NBA in distance traveled at 15,136 feet.
Wow. Does this include the trips he has to make to the hyperbaric chamber after playing 48 minutes every night, or is this just on court?
Oh my God. No, I mean this is incredible. By the way, Scotty Barnes is third in the NBA in total distance traveled.
Yeah. Does this include him just running around the financial district on off days when there's nothing to do?
I think if you factor that in, he's probably double with Fred's total, number one. And then OG Anunoby, even though he's been out for like the last like 10 plus games now, he's still seventh in the NBA
So
at
this
14,000
is traveled, just to clarify,
in feet.
This is just them like running up and down the court.
Yes.
Like as you're like going down, like in between possessions and all this stuff.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous tracking.
I know.
We've come a long way from when I watched basketball in the 1940s.
Yeah, you didn't have.
this is
What
ridiculous.
I was gonna say, man. What was Bob Cousy's distance travel numbers? Man?
Yeah, from his accounting firm to the basketball court. Yeah, I think he took the TTC to that game. No, I'm generally impressed. Not just blown away by the fact that Fred is first. I'm blown away by these stats. I'm gonna spend the weekend thinking a little bit about stats I would like to see the NBA start tracking.
Yeah, some of the tracking data is a little freaky, because they also have like speed.
But my thing is like, what is this for? Is this just to track the mileage of a player?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah. So Fred has obviously played a ton of minutes. In those minutes, he has obviously done a lot of work on both ends of the floor. But I think this is the thing with when you're seeing this as in the context that Scotty's third and OG's seventh, like. Nick is working these guys so hard, and these guys are working really hard.
Nick has no choice.
Yeah.
Unless you're not trying to win.
Oh,
which,
I got stats on the bench later on, later down the list. But man, Fred is, he's obviously just carried such a heavy load. Same for Scotty. And again, we need OG back because, come on. He's got to regain first place somehow. Key stat number 3, Yuta Watanabe is the third fastest player in the NBA. At 4.6, I guess meters per second or something like that. I forget what the specific stat is. It's right behind Doug McDermott and TJ McConnell for number 1, and Svi Mihajlovic is number 3.
So this is the speed of them on the court?
Clearly, obviously, the fastest player in the NBA is not Yuta Watanabe or any of these guys listed, right? It's probably going to be like, I don't know, like John Moran or...
Yeah. But what does this say about Utah?
De'Aaron Fox.
He's a real spry dude.
It just says these guys don't stop moving. It's actually kind of incredible.
That's a good point because Utah does not stop moving.
Yeah.
To fight for those 4 points and 2 rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
He works really hard for that.
It seems like we're always slandering Utah, but I swear we appreciate it.
No, he's the best 3-on-3 player in the league.
His effort is very appreciated.
It is.
If you told me we had 5 Yuta Watanabes off the bench, I would feel all right.
We will still score 15 points off the bench per game, so I guess you're good.
No, that's pocket threes 5 times. So those are pocket 15s. Yeah, okay, damn, you're right. So, but the Raptors as an organization are trying to clone every player to be like a Scotty Barnes type, I'm suggesting we do Yuta Watanabe cloning.
I honestly wouldn't mind a second Yuta off the bench.
He is a prototypical Nick Nurse player.
No, he is. And this is something where when Nick said earlier this week that, he has to limit Utah's playing time because he plays so hard and he's so exhausted. This is one of those stats that actually kind of confirms that. Like, he really is just moving as fast as possible out there. And
But Svi is third?
Yes, Svi's third in the NBA.
Well, he runs real fast on those fast breaks that end in turnovers. So that makes sense to me. Yeah,
I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about that.
I'm so mad about that one. I'm blaming the OKC loss on that, by the way.
On Svi?
That one possession.
Honestly, out of all the players who played in that game, Svi was definitely number 25 in terms of who's most effective. So
Malachi Flynn got to grow 4 inches, and then he'll be able to make the rotation.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Poor Malachi, man. I feel bad for that guy. All right. Speaking of playing fast, though, the Raptors this is key stat number 4. The Raptors are second in the NBA in terms of percentage of plays in transition. So they're at 18.8% of all their possessions are in transition. That's only second to Charlotte at 19.4. Obviously, if you have LaMelo and all those athletes and dunkers, they're going to be able to play really fast. They got a lot of shooters as well. They got a lot of guards. Honestly, it's very fun watching Charlotte. But yeah, the Raptors, 18.8. Sometimes that surprises me because I feel like most possessions are Fred slowly walking the ball up with 16 left on the clock. But
no, there are lots of transition opportunities.
Yeah.
I think this one checks out. Shouts to the Charlotte Hornets, by the way. LeVar Ball was asked if LaMelo should get advice from Michael Jordan, who's an executive on the Charlotte Hornets.
What do you mean executive? He owns the team.
Yeah, he owns the team.
What do you mean he's an executive?
I don't know. All right. Just trying to give the proper, org chart attribution. And LeVar said, when's the last time Mike won a championship? Which, I guess, facts? Yeah.
1996?
98, man. Come on.
The year of the rat? No,
Come on, man. Every year is a year of the rat in here. This makes sense to me. And I think this was actually pointed out by Joseph Casciaro, guest in the second segment today, and Joe Wolfon on the Scores Pound the Rock podcast I was listening to last week when I'm not listening to the Raptor show with Will Liu on repeat, especially the episodes that I'm on. And they were talking about how it's actually really impressive that they play so much in transition, considering the fact that the Raptors are giving up so many points. Because it's not like they're defending well and like moving in transition. They're literally taking the ball from under the basket and trying to push it.
Yeah.
Which is a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think that's something that you do appreciate. You would appreciate more with Nick Nurse's teams. The more they play well in defense, the more that's going to fuel their transition opportunities. And I think that's where when they have these games where they're not good on defense, or they're fouling a lot, or they're giving up offensive rebounds, that's when you get really disappointed because it just kind of spirals for the team. Like they need to play at this speed and need to play at this pace. And yeah, I mean, the other thing is just it's impressive to me that they're playing this much in transition when Fred is playing 40 minutes and all the other starters are playing 40 minutes. You got to be tired, man.
That's why you need Delano in to spell him for 3 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Anyway.
Do you think they should play more in transition, though? Or what do you think about the balance?
I think they want to play as much as possible, really. But
the half court gets really ugly sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, anyway.
Most times.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to be nice today.
Damn, okay. Key stat number 5. The Raptors are first in the NBA in terms of shares of possessions on putbacks.
Oh, this doesn't surprise me at all.
They love putbacks.
Their favorite play is Scotty Barnes missing a basket, getting his own putback.
Yeah.
That is Nick Nurse's pet play. Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, the Raptors are third worst in the NBA at converting putbacks.
Absolutely,
so they
absolutely
get
not surprised either. Absolutely not surprised. The Raptors also lead the league in possessions where they get 4 shots at the basket and come out with 0 points. Yeah. So this is all passes the Alex eye test for me.
Yeah, our producer just chimed in and said that's the Precious effect. But I mean, honestly, between Precious
was really bad at the start of the season. So producer Derek is right.
Chris Boucher.
Yeah, nothing more needs to be said. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Does that say sauce?
No, you gotta play that again. Hold on, I need to hear that.
Sauce? That's Chris Boucher saying sauce, I believe. Oh, he's saying science in French.
Wow.
Okay. Our producer Derek in his French immersion bag today. But no, this stat checks out every which way to me. So
yeah, it's actually really frustrating because that's a hilarious stat. Because look,
are we just bringing up stats today to clown the Raptors?
No. Some of them were positive.
I'm down.
Some of them were positive.
like what? Like Fred has traveled the most distance?
Yeah, man. we should get like a ribbon or something.
You know,
Fred has done the best at the beep test. You know, all NBA players.
Fred's a businessman. We know this.
He
should get paid per feet traveled. He should renegotiate his contract so he's being paid per distance traveled. Just a suggestion. I should go on Fred's podcast because that's a business idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you are a businessman.
Me and you should get invited on that pod.
Okay.
I'm putting that out there.
I mean, you're more of a businessman. I just work for the company. I'm an employee.
Oh, yeah. I've established that I don't have any bosses
vendor,
except for Greg Sansoni. Shout out to Greg Sansoni.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, start working my way up the org chart.
So DT's office is locked. You can't get the Red Bull, and this is what happens.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyways,
right. I'm gonna go to key stat number 6. The Raptors are first in deflections per game. This is not surprising to you, is it?
No, because Gary gets his hands.
Gary's still number 1 in the league at 3.9. Fred VanVleet is at 3.5 per game, which is I think 4th or something in the NBA.
Fred, yeah.
OJ Anunoby's at 3.3. There are only 12 players in the NBA this season averaging more than 3 deflections per game. 3 of them on the Raptors.
I'm not surprised with Fred and OG. And to be honest, not with Gary, too. I mean, I wouldn't have expected this coming into the season, but you watch Gary play, and he gets his hands on the ball like every other possession, it feels like.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
I mean, hopefully, being great in deflections can turn into being great overall on defense, because that hasn't translated fully yet.
Yeah, actually. You know what deflection sounds super sexy, but then you're like, but they're like 20th in defense.
Yeah. But this is like it's like those parent-teacher meetings. Like we're basically sitting the Raptors down right now and going through their report card.
Yeah.
And it is not looking good.
No, it needs more class participation from
less extracurriculars. You know, I'm gonna throw Nick Nurse's Game Boy out the window like your dad did to you.
Yeah. put me on the right path.
No more games, man. I got Scotty on.
That's why I got a Switch in my bag, and I just play it in the office.
They like lose to Detroit, and Scotty's on IG the next day being like, hey, man, what's the best vintage stores in town? I love how I'm telling these players they're not allowed to have a life unless they win. Maybe this is how we grew up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Who knows?
All right, I'm going to hit you with one more quick stat, and then you know what? I'm actually going to save one of the key ones here, my favorite one of these stats, for the second segment with Cash.
Let's do that.
But, yeah, the Raptors are second last in the NBA in charges drawn.
So Kyle Lowry effect?
How many charges do you think the Raptors have drawn this season without looking at the sheet, even though you just looked at it?
Yeah, I just looked at it, so I can't tell. But I honestly would have guessed like 10.
It's 4.
Yeah.
The Raptors have drawn 4 total charges all season. Somehow that's not last in the NBA. Memphis is last at 3 total charges. But it's kind of unbelievable. I don't know, man. I just feel like that was such like a big momentum swing for the Raptors. Not saying that that's like you're not trying to like rely on taking charges all that much, because it is a bit of a gamble just by virtue of the play, the nature of the play. But at the same time, it's also a form of rim protection. And I do kind of miss just like that momentum shifting, kind of like, okay, you know what? Kyle's going to step in here and take a huge charge and get the crowd really going. The Raptors have taken 4 charges all season. That's unbelievable.
It almost makes you appreciate what Kyle did on defense a little bit more, considering obviously the size of Kyle Lowry and the willingness that he was to just stand in front of a lot of these guys, obviously bigger than him.
Yeah.
It's just a style of play, right? It's a particular style of play, and it's particular to the individual person choosing to sacrifice their body.
Yeah.
It's not to say that, the Raptors don't have guys that play physical or willing to put it out there, but that's like a learned skill, I think. It's part of your skill set, right? And you can see no one on this Raptors team regularly, stands right at the top of the key to try to draw that charge, but I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, Kyle Lowry this season, tied for first in the NBA, 13 charges taken.
This guy, Kyle's had seasons where he's had more charges than entire teams, right?
He's got 3 times more charges than the Raptors right now.
Disgusting. This is what I'm saying, man. Kyle's going to win.
It's tough.
He's going to come back home in February, and he's going to draw the game-winning charge on the final possession.
That's really
and we're
hard.
going to come in here next day and I'm going to freestyle
We're just
for
gonna
55 minutes.
You better, man.
You better? I was hoping by this point you'd be like, no more bars, but you keep charging me up. So
No.
I'm the lethal weapon. I do not finish second.
I can't escape
Everybody,
this.
honestly, man, everybody loves your bars.
Shouts to whoever put out this like Raptors compilation video on YouTube yesterday about Delano Banton and actually incorporated the Lethal Weapon line.
Yeah, they remixed it.
They
Yeah.
remixed
It's
it.
actually kind of incredible. So
yeah.
we're going to pass it on to our producer.
Let's see
Derek.
what else is on this rundown. I guess so just to give people a little behind the scenes, I try to pack a lot of topics during the week in case we need them. So you
Okay.
don't need to hear me talk about going to Chicago and trying deep dish pizza,
Wow.
which is my go-to move when we run out of topics. So I see on here, I wrote, rename the Lou Marsh Award to the Will Lou Award, because no one exemplifies the qualities of sports better than you, Will. We'll just leave it at that. You don't
I'm
need
down.
to address this.
You should hand out a player every season that most exemplifies my energy.
Okay.
In terms of just
It's
being super intense, not scoring baskets.
It's not a player. It's Nick Nurse. You remind me of Nick Nurse. I've
Nick
told
Nurse-
you many times you should coach the Raptors for one game.
No.
What's the
I
worst
should
that can
never
happen?
coach the Raptors.
What's the worst that can happen? They'll fall to 11 and 15.
No.
Being a basketball coach can be tough.
That's exactly what I would say. Being a basketball coach is tough. But actually, you know what? In hearing some of the things Nick has been saying of late, like when after losing Okus, he's like, these guys are soft. I'm like, wow, you just taking me on
I'm like, wow,
my
was
words.
that William Lou's Twitter timeline? Third quarter, he'll call out the team. Fourth quarter, he'll list out the referees' names,
Yeah.
which I don't know why. But
Yeah, that's fair.
anyways, before we go to break, thought we'd get our shout-outs out for this Friday.
That's right, because we always leave the shout outs for the very end.
I don't want to feel rushed,
No rush,
I never
man.
want people to feel like they're not appreciated.
Yeah.
So just want to shout out everyone who makes this Raptors show and your Raptors reaction podcast possible. So as always, producer Derek
Of course.
is our first shout out,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have him in the last 5 minutes.
Yep,
We're
definitely.
gonna free him. We're gonna free Derek. Shouts to JR, Ryan Fabro, Kyle, Maria, Dan Toman, Greg Sansoni, my #1 shout out today.
You said
Working up.
you said here in brackets, yo, I need to meet Greg Sansoni in
Yeah,
person.
we're giving everyone the behind the scenes look at the rundown today.
I'm just calling him out, man.
Yeah, and everybody else, honestly. And this week, I want to give my guy Sam McKee a shout out. That's my guy that I banter about Succession with in the office because you don't watch any shows.
I don't. I watched the show called the Toronto Raptors playing basketball and
Yeah, it's a bad show.
winning half the time.
Yeah, it's a really bad show.
Okay. All right. Come on, man. All right. We also want to give a shout out to Drake Sarah, aka Sarah Brown, for the new logo.
New logo. The
Yeah.
new logo's gotten great feedback.
It's. I mean, of course, it's gotten great feedback. It looks amazing.
No. Like,
Yeah.
Sarah never misses. So shouts to her. Shouts to Hal and Danielle, too, helping us behind the scenes
Of course.
this week with the YouTube.
Mhm.
And I just want to shout out Shireen Ahmed and
course.
Amar Walla as well. Two people, Shireen invited me for dinner last week. Really appreciate that. But honestly, I wanted to shout them out on air because I know there's probably a lot of aspiring, reporters or journalists, people in sports media listening to us, being like, how do I become the next Will Liu? And, my advice to young people in this industry is always like surround yourself with people that are like good and can help you navigate this industry. And there's no two better people than Shireen Ahmed and Amar Walla. So look them up. They're great people to know. Just want to give that. And shouts to our guests this week, Blake Murphy, David Thorpe, Michael Grange, Vivek Jacob. And before we go to break, a couple of more holiday suggestions.
Oh, I love these suggestions,
people.
man. Here, hit me up. Let's go. What do you have?
I love vintage. So shout outs to In Vintage We Trust in Parkdale. Shouts to the co-owners, Josh and Chantel. That's my absolute go-to source for vintage in the city. I almost didn't want to shout them out.
So you got to tell Scotty to go there then.
Yeah, I don't want people to be stealing my flow. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, because
Is that where you got your Aston Villa kit?
No. That's I don't know where I got this.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, stop asking me questions. Just let me read off this sheet today, please. Want to shout out Chris Herring too, at Sports Illustrated, because the Raptors playing the Knicks tonight. He's got a new book coming out called Blood in the Garden.
We gotta have him on the pod, man.
Yeah, no, I will. Yeah, maybe on a Saturday show.
Okay. Oh,
So,
my bad. Okay, I'm sorry.
But Blood in the Garden about the '90s Knicks era. Got an advanced copy this week. Super excited to dive into it. For real though, I think books. I mean, you guys know me. I don't give very personal gifts. Like my parents get gift cards.
Yeah.
Right. That's as much heart as I can show.
Yeah.
Gift cards and
They
books
raised you.
are the easiest gifts. And I feel like they are the gifts that people appreciate the most because it's the most practical.
All right, I think Derek understands what you're trying to say about this Secret Santa. So keep going. Yep.
Derek's like, damn, man. Secret Santa coming soon. And lastly, our guy Jonathan, who runs a skincare product.
That's correct.
Skincare, site company called Jarl. Jarl.
Local.
Sent us some skincare. Basically, send us stuff. You get a shout out, I guess is how it works.
Yeah, let's keep that going.
No,
What's wrong with that?
He sent us some stuff. It's cool. Kind of a 3-step bundle kit with a daily foam cleanser, toner, and face moisturizer. And if you use promo code WillLou
What?
right now on jarl.ca, Jarl, you get 15% off your first purchase.
That's incredible.
I love when you are a promo code.
I love when you tell them what the promo code should be. So I think that's a good spot for us to take a break. I'm your host, Will Liu, and you're listening to The Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Welcome back to the Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Wayne Malou, and I am joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong. And we're also joined by the Score's Joseph Casciaro. Cash, what's going on, man?
What's going on with you guys? Fun show today so far.
Oh,
Fun
yeah.
show.
Real fun show. And it's about to get more fun with Joseph Casciaro, co-host of the Score's Pound the Rock podcast, my favorite NBA podcast, what I listen to when I'm not listening to myself on the Raptor Show.
You think he's joking, but he's not. He's completely serious about both of those.
Dead serious.
I'm dead serious. I'm a real one.
Nah,
Cash,
you're literally the Alex Rodriguez kissing himself in the mirror like all the time. That's your energy.
That's perfect.
every day.
Perfect.
Every day. I'm working on getting a framed photo of myself hung in my room at the moment, holding cover story in stores now. Cash.
All right. Well, Jeter's here to straighten him out now.
Yeah, here's the captain of the Score, Joseph Casciaro.
Facts.
So, Cash, man, we introduced a spicy meatball of the week segment with you a few weeks ago, and congratulations. This guy went on our show for 5 minutes and made the best of Fan 590 show.
Wow.
Which is just incredible efficiency. The Raptors could use some of that right now. What happened, Cash? You disappeared. We tried to order the spicy meatball the last 2 weeks, and you disappeared on us.
I'm in high demand. No, I'm kidding. It's I've been busy, man, with work. Just put out a Penny Hardaway feature today that I've been working on and off for literally 2 months. So I was wrapping that up, wrapped up with work and all my other responsibilities at the Score for Pound the Rock and in the app and on the YouTube channel. And I guess this is more like a spicy meatball of the every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Spicy meatball.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I guess
man.
you're not as reliable as a DoorDash delivery is what you're trying to say.
Ooh,
Wow.
damn.
Wow.
Not powered by DoorDash.
Yeah, not powered. Yeah,
All right.
but
I'll remember that when you ask Team Alex or Team Will later.
Oh, that's on the rundown. We're exposing our whole rundown today to the audience.
We're emptying the clip.
Well,
'cause
yeah.
The Raptors not giving us a lot of content. Let's be real.
What are we gonna do on Monday? No, Monday we got Daniel Dale on. It's gonna be a fun show.
Oh,
So-
that's a real
Right.
cap or no cap. Damn.
But let's not distract from our guest Joseph Casciaro of the Score. You brought a spicy meatball with you this week, but before we get into it, the city's been buzzing this week about whether everyone is either Team Alex or Team Lou. So Cash, not to put you on the spot, but give us the pros and cons of sitting next to each of us on Media Row, and who would you choose?
All right. Oh, I gotta actually pick one. I didn't realize that. All right. Pros of sitting with Will is we can talk, the nitty gritty about the game. We're both passionate. We got the history, the old Score days. The con is that the man reacts to a play in the first quarter of the first preseason game the way I react to an intense moment in Game 7. So that's that. The pros of sitting with Alex, we've got our inside jokes. We laugh. He also gasses me up to the point where I always leave the arena feeling like the greatest human of all time.
Is it because he's your Instagram husband essentially in the hallways there and trying to take a lot of photos? What's going on, man?
And the con though is that if you sit with Alex, you don't watch as much basketball as you planned to when you went to a basketball game.
Excuse me, that's a pro. As you can attest to, Cash. Every time I ask if you're coming to the arena, I apologize in advance in our WhatsApp chat. I say, sorry, man, you're probably not going to be able to watch the game until the third quarter. So I'm very upfront about it. But listen, pros and cons, you've weighed them all. Gonna need the vote.
Now that you made the unreliable jab, I'm going Team Will.
Hey,
Wow, it's Team
my
Lou, by the
guy.
way.
Nah, man, listen.
We call him Lou now.
Before the NBA was in a bubble, me and Cash were in the bubble.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
No,
Right,
we,
the war room at the Score.
honestly, we were talking, Will and I earlier today, and we were just like, Cash is a legend, man.
No, actually,
Oh,
though.
appreciate you guys.
Joseph Casciaro is a legend, man.
Takes two to know one.
Yeah, this is the scathing Raptors radio people are tuning in for on a Friday.
They want us to be like, oh my God, we gotta trade the whole team for Miles Turner. Meanwhile, we're like, yeah, Cash.
I'm like, yo, how do we acquire Joseph Casciaro? It's gonna take 4 first-rounders to start, right? It's tough, man. It's gonna take a Godfather package to acquire Joseph Casciaro.
That's because Cash is the godfather of the Score, man. Come on,
He really
man.
is, man.
No, come on, man.
He's the captain.
It's like Steph. It's like just like trying to get Steph Curry out of Golden State. It's not happening.
You're right, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
No, you're right. So, Cash, what do you have as your spicy meatball of the week?
All right. Spicy NBA related non-Raptors meatball of the week. Don't pay. Actually, I shouldn't say don't pay. Don't extend Dame. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention this week. Dame continues to say he does not want out of Portland, but the reports are that he wants an extension when he's eligible for one this summer that would tack on 2 years to a contract that already runs through 2025, I believe. So, look, I know saying don't pay Dame might sound like blasphemy to people in Portland where they wear rose-colored glasses for Dame in the Rose City, but this actually shouldn't be a very hard decision. Like I love Dame. He's one of my favorites of this generation. The guy's obviously as clutch as they come, has given us as basketball fans in general some of the most memorable moments, memorable clutch moments. And he's still awesome even though he's struggling this year. But he's a 31-year-old offense first point guard who also isn't that big, and small one-way guards don't tend to age that well. He may still have a couple like all-star years left and maybe even like one or two all NBA teams. But his current contract will likely already be an all albatross by the end of this one, okay? When he'll be making more than $48 million in his age 34 season 3 years from now. And at that point, he's basically going to be like a glorified version of what Kemba Walker is this year. Except the difference is Kemba is making less than $9 million this year. Dame, again, will be making more than $48 million 3 years from now. And then he wants an extension that's going to put 2 years on top of that. And each of those years will be worth more than $50 million per year. That'll take him to his age 36 season. No thanks. I respect Dame wanting that and asking for that when he's extension eligible this summer. And look, I think like both you guys, I'm usually and am pro player in these situations. Like if he gets that money, I'd be happy for him if the Blazers are actually foolish enough to do it. But I don't think they are. And I also think Dame knows that the Blazers want no part in that and aren't foolish enough to do it. And so he's using this now and is going to use it as like the you're not repaying my loyalty card so that he can finally ask out. I think he's carefully crafting a way that he can ask out and not look disloyal because we know like that's, and rightfully so, you know, he's earned it. That's his whole brand, right? Like sticking with that franchise, not asking out. And I know he keeps saying he's not going anywhere over and over again, but I think he's building that case. And I will say too, it makes sense for Portland, even like not just thinking about the financials. Like the way they're currently constructed, this is a play-in team, maybe a first-round playoff team at best, and that's in a year where the West is weakened and battered by injuries. Okay, there's not enough young talent here or draft capital to really make the kind of trade that they would need to get in the mix as real contenders. And it's like, okay, you trade CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons, maybe it better balances the team. But what's your ceiling in that situation? In a healthy West, still like a 4 to 6 seed, maybe a second round team if everything breaks right. I just don't see the argument for extending him, like keeping him even the remainder of this contract, let alone extending him that far into the future. And I know like there's the one argument that, you know, you want to do good by Dame. You don't want to do him dirty. Relationships matter in the league. You want to look like you're taking care of your star, but then also like it's not a secret to say no one's going to Portland, unfortunately. Like most of the league, the Blazers would have to build through the draft and through trades. Okay. They're not a free agent destination. So, you know, do you stick with what you've got now, keep Dame forever, hope to continue topping out as like a mid-tier team? Like, no, I think you got to trade not just CJ, probably Dame at some point too, and start over again with picks, young talent, and everything you'd get for those guys. Like, again, this is a team like most of them that unfortunately free agency is not really much of an option. They don't have cap space in the next couple of years anyway. So you got to build a team through the draft and trades. And when it comes to this cycle and this team with Dame at the head of it, they're all drafted and traded out.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy.
Yeah, no, I think just two things on this. I agree with you, Cash. You know, the Portland's whole situation as an organization reminds me of right before the Raptors traded Vince Carter. It just, you know, seems like things are just heading in a particular direction. And I think it's better if the organization just embraces that at this point. Because like you said, I'm not sure extending Dame or making these fringe moves or even putting CJ McCollum on the market is going to get them to where they want to go. And the second thing is we know that all these superstars, once they want out, have a destination that they telegraph, that they want to go to. Like the most recent was James Harden to Brooklyn. To me, Dame's going to end up with the New York Knicks at some point. It's just a matter of when or how that's going to happen. And if you ask me for my spicy meatball is Dame and Zion Williamson will be on the next iteration of the Knicks together.
Well, let me add a third spicy meatball to that, because if he goes to New York, it's going to be complete, the prophecy, which is that Dame is essentially this generation's Carmelo Anthony.
Wow.
Man, it's
Yeah.
ringing real.
This is a
this is
full
like
plate,
suicide sauce. This is like a suicide sauce.
This is Will Lou at Sugo
You know,
right now. Wow.
If
Sugar.
Zion, look, everyone wants, hopes like Zion gets healthy, gets it together. We all do. He's great to watch when he's healthy, but it's so rare that that's the case. Like you talk about Dame and Zion in New York, Alex. Basically, you're talking about 2021 Kemba and Randall. Basically,
Well, that's the Knicks blueprint, though. This is
Yep.
actually the Knicks
Yeah,
blueprint.
I know.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
perfect for them to finally get Dame as what is he right now? 31. So Dame's 31.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get him by the time he's 33, right as maybe he starts taking a downturn after
And again-
signing a $100 million 2-year extension or something.
yeah, it'd be madness.
Yeah,
Be
no, we
madness.
appreciate it, man. We're gonna look for Joseph Casciaro on the best of again. I feel like he hit it out of the park again. This guy's the
2 for
modern
2.
day.
This guy's Mark Jackson.
He's the modern day
With all due respect.
modern day Babe Ruth. Listen, we actually have a couple of Raptors topics, but I want to hit you with a couple quick rapid fire Alex questions for you, Cash. So first one, we found out earlier this week, Cal Penn announced that he's going to be producing and starring in a biopic of superfan Nav Bhatia. Who would play Joseph Casciaro in the Cash biopic?
Wow, can we get like a time machine and go find a young Pacino or De Niro? No, I've said this before,
Wow.
but it's kind of unfortunate. But you guys have watched the movie A Bronx Tale?
Yep.
So the guy who played Calogero, like the kid, the main character, as a teenager, like as an adult, his name was Lilo Brancato. And when I was a kid or like a teenager, everyone would tell me, "Man, you look so much like that guy," whatever. So really, that guy would probably do it. Now the problem is, and I'm not even making this up, that guy ended up charged with murder in real life, and it got
Oh.
like downgraded to burglary later. So I'm not sure if he'd be available.
Yeah, that's a good
tough
call.
one.
But
Maybe Joe.
yeah.
I do know when Don John came out, a lot of people were telling me Joseph Gordon-Levitt could do it, but I don't know.
Nah, come on, man.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
just want to be in the movie as, your close friend.
Your consigliere?
Yeah, your consigliere, and I want DJ Pauly D from Jersey Shore to play me.
Okay.
So that's my request.
I've got no comment about
The second question, this segment will not be
Oh my
making the best
God.
of. The top, I want to ask you too, there was this viral tweet going around this week, basically asking everyone, what is the top 2 items you would eat with a bowl of rice? Now, Cash, me and you have shared many Asian dishes at many
I've had a lot
Asian
of bowls of
restaurants.
rice.
Yeah, so I know you're an expert. You're a friend of the community. I want to know your top 2 items that you would eat with a bowl of rice.
So my favorite on rice dish is actually barbecue eel fried rice.
Oh my
a lot-
God, this guy came over the top,
This-
bro.
oh,
Yo,
wow.
come
Come
on,
on, man. You
This
guys know I don't play around.
this
Oh
guy
my
said,
God.
this
You
guy,
think-
oh,
You
this guy
think I'm
said,
trying to go? You think I'm trying to go 1 for 2 in making the best of? No, man.
No, this
Two
whole
for two.
segment's gonna be on the show.
yo, this is more heat than Pat Riley right now, man.
Oh well, don't worry. We're gonna get to that, aren't we?
that's hot. That's hot.
Yeah, eel fried rice. If anyone out there thinks it sounds weird, nasty, whatever,
It's
I've
not.
never tried eel.
Delicious.
Japanese restaurants, sushi restaurants, or whatever. If you ever come across eel fried rice at a good restaurant, try it. It's actually delicious. And then if I'm gonna stick with my friend of the community label, I'd say the second one would be minced pork on rice, which you can find,
yeah.
the cheap. You
Classic.
can find it all over Toronto for like when I was in Ryerson, I'd get literally $4 minced pork on rice from Chinatown. It was amazing. But
Yeah.
I also want to throw in there because
Wow, this guy going
represent
for
my
a
own
third.
community too. Represent my own community too.
You guys eat
One of
rice
the
too?
best. One of the best rice dishes is a risotto with white truffle sauce. So any kind of
Okay.
mushroom or truffle related risotto has to make the cut.
Man, I mean, I'm so proud of your answers right now. This is
Oh.
why I have no problem, shouting from the rooftop at Bamberg Circle that Joseph Casciaro is a friend of the community.
No,
those
he's
are
king of Bamberg.
elite picks,
The
man.
Prince of Bamberg, actually, Prince.
This guy's broke out the eel and the minced pork.
Yeah, and then he topped it
That's-
out with some truffles. That's unbelievable.
Holy, I'm honestly like in awe of you right now. Joe Cash is a legend, man. Listen,
See, this is why
Oh,
when
man.
I said the pro of sitting beside Alex at Raptors games is you leave the game feeling like the GOAT.
No, this is what I try to do for all my friends, man. That's what friendship is all about. All right, we're gonna cut some of these Alex questions and get back to Will here. Will, you've got a couple Raptors topics for me and Cash.
Yeah, so Cash, in the first segment, we ran through like 10 key stats. We got through 7 before we had to hit the break. So I'm just going to rattle off one really quick one here before we go to this one that I want to turn into a quiz, actually. But the other key stat, number 8, is actually Raptors last in bench scoring this season at 23.9 points per game. the entire bench unit is shooting 26.7% from three.
Well, that makes sense. You got Chris Boucher, you got Svi Mihailuk.
Malachi.
Yeah, even Utah hasn't been shooting it that well.
No. Utah's first, first in
okay.
the team in 3-point percentage.
You ain't gonna go get barbecue eel with Utah. Is all I'm saying.
No, Utah, man. Listen, we'll make.
No,
that
you've
happen.
been jumped, man. Joseph Casciaro is the #1 seed now.
That's tough. I'm not surprised. But yeah, anyway, I just had to get that in there because the bench has been really bad. But the key stat number 9 here is not actually a stat. It's actually just me literally going through the 29 other rosters in the NBA and seeing which rosters have former Raptors on them. Because I feel like when the Raptors were really down bad, like in the old ages, you could only find like 5 or 6 teams because so many players finished their career with the Raptors. But actually, the Raptors do a really good job of extending careers now. So there are 18 teams in the NBA with former Raptors on it. And honestly, I just want you guys to take turns and shout out teams and see if you can get all 18.
Okay, let's do it. And Cash, are you willing to do the Babe Ruth guarantee that me and you combined taking turns naming these guys will get all 18?
No, this is
Sure. I mean, let's do it. What's the worst case if we don't?
We won't make best of is the worst case.
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's on the line here.
Yeah, it's on the line.
Right.
Alex, get it going.
Yep. Which team? Give me a team.
No, you got to list. You guys got to go off the 18 teams.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell us the team.
Okay, no,
All right. So it's obviously, okay. The Heat, obviously, Kyle Lowry's there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing like that. I think you should give us the team. Give us the team.
Orlando's got
No,
Terrence
Cash.
Ross.
Let's do it in sequence. Give us the teams, and then Cash and I will take turns. I'll start.
Brooklyn.
DeAndre Bembry.
There's one more.
Well, I'm only contractually.
Yeah,
obligated
I
to list
thought we
one.
just need to name one, so it's like we checked off.
James Johnson's also on that
Oh,
team.
okay, yeah.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, Cash.
Danny Green.
Yeah. Cleveland.
Oh my God.
This one is such a trick question, man.
Oh my God.
I didn't know this until I looked up the
Cash,
roster.
Cash, step in here.
No
Damn,
looking up the roster, guys.
On the Cavs? I'm not. But
This one's impossible, man.
On the Cavs.
I'm just gonna let you. There's no way you will get this. Ed Davis is on that
Oh
team.
man,
we
that's
could've
right. I
done
forgot
that.
he's just like
No
kicking
way.
around and not playing. Yeah.
There's no way people knew that.
Damn.
Shout out Ed Davis. Chicago.
DeMar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alizé Johnson.
Matt Thomas.
Stanley Johnson. Yeah, they actually
Alfonso
got a lot.
McKinney.
Yeah, they just picked up Stan too.
Yeah. Indiana.
O'Shea Brissett.
Wow. Okay, Detroit.
Dwayne Casey. No, they have Corey Joseph.
Corey Joseph. Good. Miami.
Yeah, Kyle.
Atlanta.
DeLon Wright.
And
Lou Williams.
very good. Orlando.
Terrence Ross.
Oh, okay.
Utah. He actually he torched he was one of the many players this season who, as a bench player, single-handedly outscored the Raptors bench.
Yeah, it's slipping my mind right now, but I remember talking about this when it happened. Jeez.
He was involved in one of the franchise-changing trades from the Raptors.
Rudy Gay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Portland.
What?
Norm.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
All right, so I put Golden State on here. I feel like it's a controversial pick. There is a former Raptors on there, but it turns out he only played for the 905. He's a prominent bench player, despite his height.
Oh man,
Gary Payton the second.
Oh right.
Wow.
Okay,
This is a trick, man.
Yeah, Sacramento.
All right, we've been bumped from best of. Sacramento.
Terrence Davis.
Yep. And Alex Len.
Alex Len said trying to win is overrated, man. I'm going back to Sacramento.
He might be one of the few players that's gone to Sacramento twice on purpose. The Clippers.
Kawhi, Surge.
Yeah, unfortunately, Castleberry. Phoenix.
Campaign.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, there was one more on there, but I forgot who it was. The Spurs.
Pirtle.
Yep. Houston. Houston is a real trick one too.
Houston. Is this a 905 trick again?
No, this is an actual NBA player who's been in the league a long time. He's a veteran. And
Patrick Patterson? No,
No.
he's not. No.
But he plays point guard, and he was on the team a year where the Raptors actually went to the playoffs.
When they made the playoffs?
He was on the roster in that year, but he was not actually in the playoffs himself with the Raptors.
You gotta tell us.
DJ. No.
It's DJ Augustine.
Oh, it is Augustine. Okay,
Yeah. He was a Raptor.
Raptors
Okay.
legend. And the last one, the New Orleans Pelicans.
JV.
Well, Alex, how do you not know this? These guys shaking his head. Clearly, that's so obvious.
JV
there you
not
go.
on Memphis?
So you
Just
got 18
kidding.
teams in the NBA right now that have former Raptors on it. That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, let's
for
get them
me.
all back so we don't have to shoot 26% from three.
Anyway, that's tough. But yeah, that's the quiz. We have one more key stat. I'll save it for the end of the show.
Okay, so appreciate you, Cash. As always, check out his new Penny Hardaway feature. It's great. It features Precious Achua campaign. So there's some Raptors related stuff in there too. It's a great great feature. And check out Pound the Rock podcast and all of that. Joseph Casciaro, always appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you guys, and I encourage everyone to join me in writing a letter to the production company that cast Adrian Brody over me for Pat Riley. All right, that's it.
Wow. The DJ Pauly D of Toronto media.
What a whirlwind, man.
That would be the most insulting thing you could possibly say.
Oh, no,
to me.
Cash is still here. Please drop him off the line. Goodbye, Cash.
Get the Fugazi Jersey Shore guys out of here.
Goodbye, Cash.
All right, later, guys.
All right, man. It's time to let Derek out the basement. Let's go.
Derek, what's good?
Oh, not much. What do I have? 60 seconds here?
Roughly, yeah.
And counting.
Well, in that case, I won't really ask a question. I'll just make a comment. How disappointed is Alex's parents going to be if they find out that he actually buys me a gift instead of getting me a gift card like them?
Oh, don't roll out a gift card. It's still on the table.
Don't
man.
worry, Derek. You're getting a gift card. No spoilers.
Best Secret Santa ever.
Oh, my God.
What is your last stat before we wrap up?
Yeah, the last stat, by the way, is that the Raptor Show is the number 7 ranked sports podcast in Canada.
Number 7
we're
on the
obviously
sports.
number 1 in basketball.
Number 1 in basketball. Honestly,
We're number 7 on the sports chart. So
it's
we
not
need
even-
people to rate, review,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
subscribe
rate and
to get us
review.
even higher.
It's not even we're not even saying this to like brag and stuff. I honestly appreciate everybody from the Raptors fan community for engaging with this show, for listening to the show. I could spend a whole show just saying thanks to all the kind comments and everything. And we try our best every week to service the fans and service the audience, because me and Will are fans as well, believe it or not. So that's it. That's it from me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me legit. We're the one podcast on that list that's not that's actually basketball focused. As you can imagine, it's a hockey country, but still, we feel very proud of that, and we can keep moving higher on that chart if you guys continue to rate, review, and subscribe. So that does it for us today. I'm your host, Will Lou, and you've been listening to The Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Make sure you find The Raptor Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review our show. Thanks everyone for watching on YouTube. You can catch our show live there Monday to Friday between 2 and 3 p.m., and you can watch the archives online. Thanks to co-host and producer Alex Wong. Thanks to Cash. And yeah, thanks to all of you for listening. And finally, a message from our presenting sponsor. Discover the best eats of your neighborhood on DoorDash without leaving your home. So many options to choose from, and ordering is easy. For a limited time, you can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code THEFAN25. Fill out your tip-off order today